Ann Frank Andresen, how did the long Danish bonds perform in 2010?
The long Danish bond fund yielded 6.7% over 2010, compared to a benchmark which yielded 8%. We saw rising interest rates in the last quarter of 2010, and that was very hard to the Danish bonds in general and also to the Danish mortgage bonds. We saw a very widening of the spreads, and the mortgage bonds were hit very severely.
For comparison, can you tell how the German government bonds performed in 2010?
If you look at a German government bond with the same interest rate risk as the Danish government bonds, we see that the Danish government bonds outperformed the German with over 1%. If you look out in the rest of the Europe, we see that the Danish government bonds have been top performers in that comparison.
If we look around Europe, the fixed income markets, they have been amazingly volatile this year. Has it had any effect on your fund?
Well, yes, it has. When the Danish government bonds move, it's typically in the correlation with the German government bonds. So if we see a movement in the German government bonds, we also see it in the Danish. So if the Germans are hit by volatility in their government bonds, we expect the same to happen for the Danish government bonds.
About the supply side, would there be anything to worry about?
No, there's nothing to worry about in the Danish government bond supply side. It looks very good. We're still ahead of schedule, so we are issuing in the second half of 2011. And we saw a very good auction in the Danish 10-year government bonds, mid-January, which had a bid to cover around 2, as expected, but it shows that the case is still okay.
The PIGS problem hasn't gone away, but do you think that Danish government bonds, they offer any additional safety features compared to German bonds?
The fact that Denmark is not a part of the euro make a theoretically decoupling possible from the German government bonds, but we don't expect that to happen. We expect the markets to move together.
And what about the Danish bond market? Does it have any strengths that you would point out?
Yeah, the demand side of the Danish government bonds markets is very supportive for the government bonds. There's a very strong domestic investor base, and that's a strength compared to other European countries.
But what do I get as an investor investing in long Danish bond fund compared to funds in other European countries?
You get the unique possibility of investing in Danish government bonds, which is a very prudent investment case, and investing in the Danish mortgage bonds, which offers you a high, historically very attractive option-adjusted spreads. And this is unique compared to a traditional government bond portfolio. And right now, the Danish market is a very attractive and prudent investment case, and has a strength being decoupled from the non-core Eurozone problems.